Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about how narcissists are bullies. Not all bullies are narcissists, but many narcissists are bullies, so I wanted to address it on the show today. Bullying has always existed in one form or another. It's often associated with children in school, but many people are using it to address problems between adults as well. We often hear that bullies are people who are unhappy and taking their misery out on other people. With narcissists, at least, it's definitely true. Many of them are miserable, and the only way they know how to get relief is to spread that misery around to other people by hurting them. This is an unhealthy coping mechanism that allows the person to feel better by taking the focus off their own pain and by putting others down so they can feel better. This is right up a narcissist's alley. In fact, narcissists do this so routinely that they often accuse others of doing the same thing, of putting others down to make themselves feel better. They seem to believe that this is how everyone operates. They feel that you intentionally hurt them, and they believe it's because you are lacking somehow, which is, of course, exactly the way that they operate. They don't seem able to understand or believe that not everyone's sense of self-worth is so deficient that they need to devalue others to feel like they themselves are worth something. They can't seem to realize or accept that not everyone feels bad the way that they do, and not everyone needs to hurt others to feel good. Narcissists also bully others because they're very concerned with power and control. On the inside, these are people who feel very powerless and that they have control of nothing, including themselves. The controlling and domineering behavior that we often see from pathologically narcissistic people is an overcompensation for this internal weakness. Narcissists exist in a reality where everyone is desperate for control and to control others, and mainly, they exist in a reality where everyone is desperate to control the narcissist. They seem to believe their freedom and individuality is being usurped by other people, or that others are just waiting for the opportunity to control them. This is probably because they feel greatly influenced by and dependent upon other people in general, and place all the responsibility for themselves on others. Because they place the responsibility for their actions and feelings on other people, because they rely on others for their self-worth, and because they have an unstable sense of identity, which results in them either consciously or subconsciously emulating the people around them. This can cause them to feel like they're being controlled by other people, even though the other people aren't actually doing anything. In order to counteract that feeling of being controlled and helpless, they often overreact to that with displays of power and dominance. This helps them feel strong, and it helps them feel in control. Finally, narcissists engage in bullying behavior because they're immature and they want their own way. They're very reward-oriented, and when they're told no or that they can't have something, they react with rage. They will often use anger, violence, guilt, and whatever else they have to in order to get their way. Pathologically narcissistic people usually have a very hard time with their emotions, and they cannot tolerate frustration. It's like dealing with an adult-sized toddler. If you're dealing with a narcissistic person and you're being mistreated or bullied, or if you're being bullied by anybody, whether they're narcissistic or not, remember that you don't have to put up with that. There are ways out of the situation. Sometimes they're not easy, and sometimes they're not pleasant, but there are ways out. There are choices. Above all, don't let the narcissist make you feel that you're powerless simply because they feel that way. You are not. You have always had the power. You just need to remember that. You just need to rediscover the power and take it back. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions. So please keep those coming. Don't forget, I am taking appointments now one-on-one. So if you'd like to schedule an appointment with me, visit littleshaman.org and press the bookings tab to do that. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.